You know, the Shield is a very popular pistol and a pretty nice one. Yeah, I'd forgotten how much I actually like that thing. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, we have 2 Shields today, so we're well protected, right? This is the Performance Center Shield, and you can see they're pretty much the same, except the biggest difference is, I guess there's 3 big differences. The sights, trigger's a little better, and then the porting, all right? So the big thing to me, of course, the porting is what I guess people are having a lot of questions about. It's always nice to have a little bit of an improved trigger. I like the sights on this one. Let me go ahead and say that. The fiber optic, and they're encased in the steel frames, so they'll stay in there. I've had firearms where they wanted to back out, you know. Looks like they'll stay in there. I like those. Those are really quick to pick up. I like them a lot. I would like to have those sights on this Shield. So if I could take the best of both of these, I'd be happy with just the sights on this one. So what I did with the other day, back to the topic here, okay? I brought both of them out here, and I'll do it here too, but I just laid them here, and I just, you know, shot this one a couple of times, that one a couple of times, went back and forth, and I shot, you know, a whole magazine, pick up the other one immediately, shot a whole magazine. And it's really the best way to tell. You could go shoot this one at the range today, 1,000 rounds, and then tomorrow take this one in. You might notice the difference, but yeah, there's nothing like doing them back to back, side by side. It really is. And even the way I was doing it, because if you just shoot this one for a while and go have lunch, come back and shoot this one a while, you know, you need to really see it, because the differences are subtle. They're not dramatic. Bottom line, I'll go ahead and tell you, the bottom line is I notice a little difference in muzzle flip. Not a lot, but a little difference in muzzle flip. Not enough to really matter, I think. In a defensive situation, not enough to matter. But a little difference because of the porting. Okay, now you can't cheat physics. It doesn't do away with recoil. You're firing the same bullet in both firearms, but the muzzle does rise a little bit less. Maybe staying on target is just a little bit easier, just a little bit if you're shooting fast. In a defensive situation, my opinion is it won't matter. Okay, so you got the pluses and the minuses of that. You got just a little bit of difference, and you got more flash. You know, in a low light situation, that might create a little bit of an issue for you. From what I've seen, you may be familiar with Such. He doesn't think there's enough difference for the blinds or anything. He did some night shooting with it, I noticed, and I'll take his word for that, because he's a good guy. So you'd probably be fine with it, you know, even in a low light situation, because it's going to be so quick and dirty. It's probably not going to matter. You're not, unless you're fantasizing some long extended firefight or something in the pitch dark, probably not going to be a big deal. Okay, but that said, and that's part of my thing about porting, you just don't really need it. It's just not that big a problem. Okay, so don't look at it as a panacea for recoil. If you're just getting into firearms and you think all of them kick too much and you're looking for anything you can possibly do to reduce that, just shoot some more, practice, and you know that it's not that big a difference. Okay, so anyway, but to each his own. It's probably not going to blind you, and it's probably not going to create problems having it ported. So if you really think that's something that's cool, and you know, and it helps you 2% or something, go for it. But for me, I'm probably not going to go with the porting. I'd like to have the sights on it. I would like that. The trigger's a little better, and let me talk about the trigger. The trigger is better. It's a little smoother. It's not quite as gritty. It's a little bit lighter on the break. Just a little bit. We're talking just a little difference, but you can feel it if you shoot both of them. However, it's a defensive firearm, and for me, I would rather have the standard trigger. It's a little stiffer break, you know, maybe a half a pound heavier or a pound heavier, I don't know. I would really rather have this trigger on the standard model in a carry gun. All right, but now if you're shooting at the range, there might be enough difference that you would shoot a little bit better and you would like it better. You know, kind of like the LC9S, the wonderful trigger, almost too light for a carry gun. You know, really almost too light. Boy, you have to be careful carrying that thing, okay, and keep that finger off of that trigger because it's so light. But now it's a kind of trigger you're gonna love at the range and target practicing. And the same with this. You'd probably maybe hit a little bit better with it. All right, so that's kind of the bottom line. Let me take a couple shots here side by side just to make sure I wasn't imagining it. Okay, I got the I had like 5 mags, so we got plenty of mags here. I got mine marked so I don't mix them up. So I'm gonna make them both hot. Now they both have safeties. The one I bought used, well, the one in my hand, had the safety on it. I never use it. Okay, it's a pretty positive safety, so I don't think it's going to go on accidentally. I'm just going to lay it down. So I pretend these don't really have safeties. The Performance Center model comes with a safety only. That's the only option. If you look at the Smith & Wesson website, you see there's all kinds of versions of these things. California compliant, with a safety, without a safety. You got 40 caliber, you got 9. So there's lots of different options. So if you're really interested in a shield, and these are great options for you folks that are just getting into firearms, and a lot of people are swarming to the world of firearms, which is a great thing these days. This is a very, very viable option, the shield. You know, you probably already know that, but it's a nice gun. It really is. Okay, so they're both hot. All right, so let me start with Performance Center. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Cowboy. Okay, standard. Performance Center. Standard. Let's try a 2-liter. Let's try a 2-liter. Okay, I wasn't trying it. I just missed. That was just me. Okay, I'm gonna shoot a whole mag this time. Yep, my opinion is still the same. Let's see, there's this extended, that's okay. Performance Center. Let's just go closer. Nice gun, nice trigger. Nice gun, nice trigger. I can tell a little difference, as I said, in the muzzle flip on the Performance Center firearm. And not enough to matter. Not enough at all for me. It might for you now. I just can only speak for myself. So there you go. Like I said, it's got a little bit nicer trigger. When you bring it up, yeah, we're clear. It's a little smoother as it moves back. You don't have the grit, and a little bit lighter break. You know, the reset, to me, the reset seems the same. I can't tell any difference on the reset. Might be a little, shorter, but I think it's about the same. And this one, you get a little bit of grit, just a little bit, and then it breaks. And I actually like this, a little bit stiffer for a defensive trigger. I prefer this one. Okay, but that's up to you. I just want to kind of tell you what you're getting with it, and then you obviously have to decide whether you think it's worth it or not. And hopefully you do come around here for our opinion, and that's all you get, right? Not a lot of difference. You'd be fine with either firearm. The negatives and positives, of course, on these sights are, to me, that's all positive. That is an incredible sight picture. On the porting, the positive side of that is, yeah, just a tad less muzzle flip. The downside, you get maybe you can get dirt in there. You know, that's good. But again, though, this is for, of course, the dirt would come from maybe a holster, or if you get a lot of lint, if you're not keeping track of your firearm and cleaning it regularly and keeping an eye on it. It's possible you could get something into those holes there. I don't know. So you just have to weigh that. Either one is a great gun. And again, on the trigger, you know, they're both really good triggers. You know, there was an issue with Smith & Wesson. I haven't followed everything about that with the Apex, and I think Smith & Wesson was trying to prevent some of those modifications to their guns using the Apex and other triggers maybe, and then have relaxed that since it came out and everything. So I don't know everything about that, but this is from their performance center, so this is a slightly improved trigger, you know, from Smith & Wesson. And of course, a lot of people, and I've not had a lot of M&Ps. I've shot several here, and some of them have had a trigger modification with, I guess mostly it's the Apex trigger, I don't know, and they do a great job, of course. You know, I'm not going to get into all that because I don't know a lot about it. Apparently it's kind of over with, the big controversy over that, but so this one is an improved trigger in-house, and again, improved, depends on what it's for. You know, it's if you're a new shooter, I know it's enticing to be able to go to the range and have a lighter pull and maybe be able to hit things a little bit easier or feel like it's not as stiff on you. But believe me, in a defensive trigger, you might be better off with a little bit stiffer trigger. So you got to weigh that. Talk to a lot of people. Don't just listen to me, and try them both. I would advise, these shields are everywhere. I would imagine you could get to a rental range and shoot both of these probably. You may have a friend who has the newer one, and try that. I'll shoot just a little bit more. Oh yeah, well, I don't know if there's a need to shoot hollow points. The thing about the shield, I'll put some in anyway. Some low recoil. Mainly I do this just to make sure it feeds them, but the shield has been out there. It has a good reputation. I don't think there's you know, any noise out there about it not feeding hollow points or anything. It seems to work well. We got things we haven't shot here, like a pink failure in a pot. Yeah, another pot. The shield is just a nice gun. The thing that always hits me is the grip seems thinner than on other single stack 9s. I don't know what it is. It's the one thing that I always notice when I pick it up. It seems thinner or almost too thin. I know it's a single stack, but on other single stacks, I think I don't know what it is, but it just seems thinner, almost too thin. I feel like I want to put another set of like grips on it, Talon grips or something on it, and beef up right in the middle. But that might just be my large hand. But it feels fine, and if that's all I had to carry, I'd be fine with that. They're really, really nice guns. So it fed the hollow points, didn't it? Okay, imagine that. I guess I'll just shoot this thing some more. Got your 7-round mags and your 8-round mags. The firearm, comes of course with a 7-round mag and an 8-round mag. You got your extension on it, and it's just a pretty cool gun.